Hi everybody, we are the PlanesTalkers. This is John.
I'm Sean.
And this is Rez.
And in this video we are going to be talking about some of our favorite land cards from the Magic the Gathering sets of the past and more recent.
I think land is an interesting thing that doesn't get a lot of due. It goes in every single deck. I have yet to see any Magic card decks that don't use lands, and some people are very particular about their lands and will only use certain lands. Some people will just grab whatever lands are in the land station and just stuff them in as fast as possible. But I think it's something that deserves a little closer look.
To be fair, there is a deck that doesn't use lands. It's Oops All Spells and Legacy.
There is, yeah, okay, one deck. All right, almost every deck. Stupid Legacy with its crazy rules.
And its crazy combos.
Yeah. Indeed. So the first land I think we're going to take a look at is one that kind of rather recent, but our Battle for Zendikar lands. I took a break from Magic for a little while, and the thing that got me back into Magic was two little words, full art. And I think I've heard quite a few other people say that full art lands was a big key in this set.
Oh, I agree. And when I heard the full art lands were coming back for Battle for Zendikar, I too had taken a break and was looking to start building my own decks, but I had a lot of old land cards from sets that I used to play, and then I started looking at some of the original Zendikar full art lands, trying to thinking about pricing those out, probably buying some for myself. I mean, just look at these lands. Just look at the art on these. If you're playing this game, you're investing time, you're investing money. You want something that looks good to play, as well as, you know, function and style, is definitely something that I think is important. And the full art lands of the original Zendikar, Battle for Zendikar, are just, they're awesome to me.
Yeah, they're really gorgeous. I especially like the forest and the islands. I think the forest on the original Zendikar lands have just so much pop and so much color, and for just a simple thing of a forest, really has some really great color in them.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then in the islands, some of them just really show how alien Zendikar is. You have the one with the bowl just floating there, along the lines of they're just floating land masses that seem to just exist there. That one's pouring water out. It's like, how does that happen? That's so cool. And then you have the other one with the just floating islands in the sky, which is something that I thought was really cool, right over the ocean.
Yeah, it's really amazing how much world building they do in just 5 short cards. They really get you to have a real sense of wonder and awe about Zendikar and everything it has to offer, and just a couple of cards that I think a lot of people probably take for granted for most sets. Zendikar might be special because it was full art, ooh ah, I really want to examine them, but all the land cards and all the sets really do a lot of world building there.
Yeah, all the sets were really kind of put together with these lands in mind. It is the world, and Magic isn't what it used to be, where they just used to be lands. They didn't actually have any relevance to the story, because the story really was nothing. I mean, Arabian Nights, yeah, kind of followed the Arabian Tales, and legends, kind of just picked some legends from different lores. And then you have Mirage, which is very African-based, and that was one of the more original sets that started getting into these slight storylines. But now the cards are about actions. They're not about the art. They're being painted. And so you're trying to have these actions in these basic lands, which is the water pouring out of the bowl, or you can even tell the differences between Zendikar and Battle for Zendikar, that the lands were really put in mind that the world is living, not a painting.
Absolutely, yeah. The Battle for Zendikar, you can feel you're capturing that land in the mid-motion, and in the middle of the Eldrazi blight in some cases. But it's really, really gorgeous, and it really makes me sad, though, when we come and go to Innistrad and then Kamigawa, which had some really great story and really great landscapes, too. Half of it's cut off.
Oh, exactly. I look at some of the card arts, and I think to myself, this would be great if it wasn't just half of an already tiny piece of paper.
Yeah, it could be so much more if they would really allow it. So I think these are probably the quintessential full art lands. The other ones are the unhinged and unglued lands.
Well, these are unglued.
So these are our unglued lands, and there's a debate about which one's prettier. You are on the side of...
I do like the unglued, actually. I know everyone's on the unhinged bandwagon, but I love the symbols and the tapping symbol. I just think that makes the art more for me than the card. It's like the actual artwork itself. I mean, yeah, the islands are okay and unhinged, but I really like it being a Magic card as well.
To me, the thing I like about it is it really looks like a classic playing card game. It looks like something you would see in the early 1800s of just an old style poker deck. It looks slightly faded, looks slightly worn, slightly simplistic in its layout and design, but the artwork is no less gorgeous.
Yes, and what they do with it, you still get the idea that without the words really being the focus, like mountain, swamp, forest, the picture tells you what the land is and what you need to do with it.
Absolutely.
But yeah, there's no doubt in my mind there is kind of like the swamp kind of looks like forest, but besides that,
well, swamp is a dead forest anyway, and that's exactly what it looks like. It looks like a dead forest.
Yeah,
so,
if you're whatever. But I do like these, but you can tell there's no motion.
There's no motion.
There is no world. It is. We wanted an island, a plain, a mountain, a forest, and a swamp, and that's what we get.
Yeah, it's very different than the Zendikar lands, but I love that classic look.
And considering the rest of the unsets, finding such pretty art on the land cards is kind of a shock. And
hey, some people like those old lands.
I mean, the old lands are great, and so are the old card arts. But when you compare, you have the craziness of the unset cards and creatures and spells versus the lands for them. It's very
just
two ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, the lands themselves really didn't bring out the flavor of the set at all. There's nothing wacky in
nothing wacky or goofy. Gorgeous, but nothing wacky and goofy to go with the rest of the hunt.
Yep.
So here's the other half of the unset, and these are probably the more popular ones, particularly the forest and the island I see all over the place, and the mountain too.
Yeah, people absolutely love these lands
because they're gorgeous.
I mean, I can see why. It's still a painting, but it almost looks like it's a window into another world.
Yeah. I think where the first unset was classic cards, I think this is more classic art.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
And at least you can tell the swamp from the forest in this one, too.
Oh, definitely.
So a set that is kind of not talked about a lot, but the artwork on the lands is worth mentioning. This is Kamigawa.
Yes, the first set in the Kamigawa block. This was one of the... over the time I've played Magic, there have been lulls, and the Kamigawa set was the one that really brought me back in again after a long time of not playing. Just the giant panoramic images the beautiful panoramic images that they've split into the multiple cards just really tells a story of this cool Japanese themed plane, and something that I hope that they go back to eventually. Even if they say no, I'm still going to hold out hope.
So I was actually unaware that they had done this for the Kamigawa lands until we start recording this video, and these are just breathtaking. The fact that they panoramicked a scene and made all the lands go together, just absolutely gorgeous. And the scenes they all depict, fantastic. I sound just gushing with happiness and joy because they're really pretty. They really tell a story. Depending on where you look, you get that action, that emotion, and then there are other parts in the panoramic where it's just still and peaceful and very good pieces of art.
It's a good example of something that sets the scene for the plane. And as a game where we're technically planeswalkers and using mana from the land itself to cast spells, it really gives you a good idea of where you are, if you want to get into that whole aspect of the game.
Yeah, to me, it doesn't really feel like a Japanese-centered world to me, looking at these arts. But I mean, you get bamboo, which is Chinese, and you get these pagodas and other things that are that region
I don't get
either.
the sense of Japanese inspired, but I do get the sense of wonder and I want to explore these places.
Oh no, no, it's gorgeous, but I don't get a sense of the world by looking at these lands.
If you do look at some of the legendary lands, though, that kind of focus in on certain parts, it does show maybe Japanese wasn't the specific focus, but maybe just Asian as a whole. But it does give you a good idea of what they were trying to do with this particular plane.
Yeah, the legendary lands are a little different, but we're talking about basic lands here.
So. I know. Maybe that's a whole nother video entirely.
So now we'll finish up with our last block, which is the Mirrodin block. And they did something rather interesting with these lands as well. So very similar to Kamigawa, you can panoramic your way through these, and this is definitely storytelling at its finest.
Well, it's storytelling without actually using words. And as a return to the original, the first set where we actually go back to a plane we've been to before, and it shows this metallic, inorganic world of Mirrodin and its ongoing battle with the Phyrexians, and the lands show the course of the story without actually telling you anything. It shows that things aren't looking good for Mirrodin, the Phyrexians are winning, and then in New Phyrexia it shows you that things have gone pretty bad. But just these images here for, I believe this is Scars and Mirrodin Besieged towards the end.
Towards the right-hand side.
Towards the right-hand side. It just, looking from left to right, tells you a story that things are going south quickly.
Yeah, and I think it shows best in the forest on the bottom and the mountain above it, where you can see on the left-hand side, all right, it looks like it's maybe winter and not doing so well, but as you go to that right, things are just really unnatural and dying and danger and not looking too happy.
It's dark, it's ominous, it's poisoned, it's what the Phyrexians do best.
They infect.
Yeah.
Which is why I never want to see Phyrexians again.
No.
Big problem with Modern.
Yeah, I don't want to see infect.
Urza should have finished them off when he had a chance.
Well, that is our short little video on basic art. Let us know in the comment section below, what's your favorite art? Are you one of those people that uses a specific card every single time for your basics? Or just whatever you have lying around?
And don't forget to like and subscribe. And we are the PlanesTalkers. I'm John.
I'm Sean.
And I'm Riz.